breaker, others need to follow around the park. The explosive second five has taken them to the right places. Time for the Stags to turn those scoring threats into promises. And the talk in town and around the team has been all about how to utilise the time spent in the opposition 22, from better decision making through to improved communication and much in between. But as the saying goes, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Southland must dine out on every morsel of possession in that strike zone. You see David Hall there in the centre of your picture. 94 games for him, 96. Jamie McIntosh, they are adding up, and if all works out well, when they host Harbour here on Sunday the 22nd, that'll be Jamie McIntosh's 100th game, and won't it be wonderful for him to celebrate in front of his home crowd. And David Hall also, if he keeps fit and selected, will play Hawke's Bay here in his 100th. Elliot Dixon returning, as you can see there, with a head bandage, as has John Hardy. And in his early Stags career, appearances of Michael Fatialofa were limited to encouraging cameos, but 2013 has seen a fitter, stronger version take a full part in games where deft line-out skills and increased work rate and genuine mobility have seen the athletic lock make a contribution akin to his talent. And recent history favours Taranaki victories in the last three encounters, and last year's particularly convincing immediately after receiving a rugby lesson from Waikato, losing the shield in the process. Wellington gave them a kick in the pants last week, so time will tell whether it's had the same effect. Overall in championship matches, the visitors just shade Southland by 13-10. The referee for today's clash is Shane McDermott. One game under his belt today so far this season, and made a good job of it too. So expect more of the same. He'll be assisted by Kirk Ray and Peter Wilkinson. Kirk Ray, the referee development officer here in the south, and Mike Bowman will be the man in front of the telly if required. So this is an automatic crossover match, as determined by the seedings from last year, where 4th place Taranaki play 11th place Southland. So by a quirk of the draw, they meet for the 3rd year in a row at Rugby Park Stadium. We're all set to go here for the Saturday evening action. And Daniel Brooks put it high and in a position where his forwards could compete, but Fatialofa got up strongly. And Dixon puts the shoulder in and gets outside the 22. Quick border, Adams, David Hall charging forward. Adams again, releasing. And Vainga, the man we said that can make the line breaks, almost does so. Hall having his second touch. In quick succession, Taylor looking at the short side where there are 5 Stags and a couple of Taranaki defenders. A bit too much congestion. So they'll have to go the other way. They've run out of space this side on the terraces. Dixon taken in the tackle by Cleaver. Over the 10-metre mark, there you go. And a deep pass to Ed off his left boot. And finds some land. Kurt Baker scurries across to make it safe. It may drift out on the full. It does. So a victory morale-wise for the Stags.
Yeah, that's good intentions for the Southland Stags there, just playing it out from their own 22, just rumbling away. We can see Elliot Dixon coming back from his week game suspension, got his hand on the ball early. We'll be looking to see more of that.
Good gap in the line out there, and a deep back line. Robinson looming out wide. David Hall, his first line-out throw is deflected off Fatialofa in a forward direction, and bonus ball for Taranaki. And they'll enjoy that. And Smiley searches for it. Looks for a bit of protection for his kick and puts it high. Doesn't chase it, but those behind him do. Fumbled initially by Taylor Adams, but he managed to get a hand to it and parry it across to Robinson up in support. So while they've lost a bit of territory, the Stags, they have looked after the ball for the moment. And an offence on the ground by Tui Fua gives the Stags a chance for a penalty and some extra territory.
No, stay there, stay there.
Yeah, Scotty Eade down on his knees there. He was looking very uncomfortable. Tui Fua come through and put a lot of pressure on there, did extremely well.
We see here, Robinson got twisted. Eid went in for the ball. You see him hanging out the back there. Tuifua did a great job in early, twisted him round. He just got a whack right in the knee of Robinson's flinging boot. But he's sweet and he's back up, kicking for touch. So Southland will be wrapped with that.
Couldn't put a lot of power into that kick, but did the job nevertheless. He'll be wary that waiting in the wings, Marty McKenzie is looking to make a name for himself in 10, so he won't be leading the field unless he can possibly help it. This time Fatilofa safe at line-out time and a good formation behind him. A low driving one which has been taken to good effect, and rumble up 5 or 10 metres, and Taranaki have just fallen off the maul. They've rejoined it and slowed it down. It's freed to the backs. The best of passes, but now Robinson, what can he do from the virtual standing start? He puts a little kick in behind. It's well covered by Andre Taylor inside the 22. They're in a position they can clear because they've had a breakdown within the 22. So the kick for touch, if they require it, can go out on the full, but they're not even looking to do that just yet. A better field position for a kick for Smiley. And he can search the touchline if he so desires, and he does, and achieves good mileage inside Stags territory.
Well, that was a great drive from Southland. They just got some good go forward. Everyone was all in together. Warms the cockles of your heart to seeing that down there on a rather chilly, brisk night.
Well, they've definitely shown their intent, haven't they? They're going to have to take it to this Taranaki side, especially up front. They're a big pack with a lot of experience, this Taranaki team, so they're going to have to work hard, Southland.
Well, Josh Berkuis, the target this time round. Held in the back by Dixon, and Adams has a little burst, finds Cornforth, just squeezed down that narrow pathway. And Fatilofa looming, likes to carry the ball, and given the opportunity, as does Hardy. Hardy supported by Boys and McIntosh, straight to the ground and presenting the ball for Adams. Fatilofa yet again in the fray. Good to see the young man getting his hands on the ball regularly this early 5 minutes. Hardy, and they've got themselves a penalty too. Cleaver offside. But Stags not content with that just yet. They want to experiment with a kick and a chase, and the kick was good. The chase was excellent. And William Spears got onto it. The ball's available for Vaenga, and he looks to see if there's any support, and hesitated for a moment and got driven to the ground, knowing full well they'll have a shot at goal instead.
Yes, well, Southland certainly have showed their intention. They're going to try to rumble and rumble and rumble some more, especially around the edges of the ruck. And by doing so there, did pull Shane Cleaver offside and give Southland the first opportunity to draw some blood in this game.
Yeah, well, we know Scotty can kick them from this distance. That's not an issue at all. Really just going to come down as we see the replay here. He just got a wee bit offside, Cleaver. Unfortunately, the ball sort of bobbled a wee bit at the back of that ruck. Hence the reason it was up a wee bit offside. But really, it's just going to come down to his placement of his foot. Hopefully it's not too slippery.
Well, Scotty, good kicking form. There's no question about this aspect of his game. And he'll enjoy the angle and distance. But misses by a margin. The end result, not a happy one.
I think he's still battling away with that leg, Tom. He's stretching away here, just doesn't quite feel comfortable.
Get behind Black, please.
Yes, Taranaki have been accused of mentally not being up for the last couple of games, not really getting into the game early enough and being too far behind by the time they fired themselves up. So far, it's been a bit of a meat start by them. They've been on the defensive. But they've not conceded any points at this stage. That'll please them. Eid holds the ball up, then passes it on to Fatilofa, who between Tuifua and Taylor to bring him down. And then in that process, the ball was dispossessed.
Well, I think Taranaki will count themselves pretty lucky with that. say Bernie Hall was all over that. I wouldn't think he would have been supporting his weight, but it did just to put the pressure on South and allow that little knock on to give Taranaki a scrum opportunity.
Right on the mark.
Oh, I'm just looking at Scott Eade here, and he really is struggling with this league. I wouldn't be surprised if Mackenzie does a bit of warming up here, because he's really struggling to free it up.
There's not a position you can rest and wait for it to come right, is it, Brendan?
No, he did right there. He's got to be a handy, especially if he's kicking as well, Tom.
I understand that players get this chance so early in the game. You just don't want to be giving up your spot for someone else.
Hell no.
I can tell you my professional opinion. He's looks like he's stretched the medial ligament of his left leg there.
Calvin, be quiet and concentrate on commentating, please, not medical advice.
Crouch. Bind.
Scrum. Down on the side again.
Yeah, messy start. It always is. The first scrums are important. Both teams looking to get on top of the other. But it is more slipperier than it looks out there as a buffer.
Yeah, I think I'll be struggling. They'll certainly have their long sprigs in, but at the end of the day, I think both teams, or any team in this competition, is just really struggling with these new laws. They're just trying to get there right.
Bind.
Pretty even packs in terms of ability, I believe, from what I've seen in the first couple of rounds. So no dominance yet. Thompson got the ball away. Tuifua running straight, hard, strong. That's his hallmark of his game. He's been able to command a regular place in the Taranaki squad. This is his chance to do so. And that was a good start to his day's work. Lost forward and bounces kindly for Marshall. Protects the ball well. That's insufficient advantage because they then conceded what would have been a penalty. So we'll go back to the original offence, the knock-on.
Taranaki keeping things pretty simple. You can see here putting lots of pressure on. Again, Chris Smiley, that's the third kick from the base he's put up. So they haven't let rip with their backs, but here goes a good opportunity.
3 errors already, but they have had the majority of the possession. And the best chance for an attacking option from Taranaki, Smiley. The most experienced player overall for Taranaki, not in the Taranaki jersey, of course, but for multiple provinces.
You've hit down. You've
and
hit down.
Jamie McIntosh looks stunned.
You've hit down.
Doesn't say much. Takes his punishment.
Shot a goal.
Yeah, well, here you go. Here he's saying he's hitting on the angle straight, and the law is such that you've got to have your back straight and hitting straight right through it. So he's picked him up on a pretty minor detail, but if you're angling down, that's exactly what's going to happen in the front row. You're going to eat a bit of grass.
Well, she's a big kick here, fellas. Saw Andre Taylor warming up. He certainly doesn't lack for distance.
Tell you what you haven't seen. You haven't seen him miss a goal so far this year. He's only had a handful. Slotted them all. One of half a dozen players still with 100% records 2013, but not the easiest. Looks like he has also pushed that to one side, so there goes the record. And the score remains the same, 0-0.
Well, we sort of stared at that one a wee bit. He must have been watching him. He didn't really follow through as much as he was in the warm-up, so he certainly gives him a good old thump, though, Kelvin, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, reminds me of somebody else, Buffer.
Here's Eade. His kicks aren't flying beautifully. They are a bit flat and wobbly, and that came off the knee was the call from Taylor. The crowd didn't moan and groan, so they agree. And here's Kurt Baker, soon to be a Highlander once more. 2 years signed to come south. More on him later. In a moment, Broadhurst up to halfway, over it, helped by his captain Barrett. Ball a little slower this time, but fired to Brooks. And he's put the grubber in. It's bought some useful territory. And Taranaki back on attack, albeit the Southland throw.
Yeah, good simple play from Taranaki then, recycling the ball nice and easy, just keeping it simple. Couple of guys hitting up and blowing over and looking to put that ball in behind Southland.
I like Broadhurst, Kelvin. He's a big ball runner. He's very handy for the Hurricanes, but he's quite an integral part of this Taranaki forward pack, isn't he?
Oh, he's a big rig.
This time Tim Boys trying to get two. Poor pass, about to come off a Taranaki hand. The advantage though, because of the distance carved off by Eden. Maybe that leg's coming right after all. Good catch from Ormond. Out of mid-air, Baker decides, let's get it across to one of our danger men, the Holo. And he shows you why we've described him as such. First contact, victory. And the second contact, another victory. They've bought themselves a penalty, and slightly handier than the last.
That'll be giving Taranaki a wee bit of confidence. Naholo, wow, New Zealand Sevens player. Look, he was a star last year. He only played 8 games and he scored 5 tries. Look, nice in and out, and just look at that, just pure power. And one-on-one, nice and strong. Look at that, great support by Taranaki blowing over that.
Certainly got the numbers there.
Well, they've opted for not the kick at goal. Not a great kick down the sideline really, but what can they conjure up here? Barrett coming out to the middle of the field. The captain, does it come straight to him and a hit up midfield?
This time it was Broadhurst that delivered it, so Barrett running up strong. The captain's showing the way. Smiley to the left. Still with a great pass. Baker looks to step. McIntosh fends him instead. Dixon comes in, makes the cover tackle. Only 5 out from the line now, looking dangerous. This is Broadhurst within a few. Still they come charging through. Bernie Hall was oh so close. Inside pass from Brooks. They're now within 2 metres. The alarm bells ringing in the Southland camp. They man up on defence though. It's good work from Vainga to slow it down. But the pressure is maintained. A dive for the line, still short. Organising a more effective rumble. May have just lost it on the ground on that occasion. They have. It's gone back inside the Southland territory. It's deemed to be carried back. Taranaki is still able to apply pressure from a 5-metre scrum.
Oh, fantastic pressure from Taranaki there, but Josh Beckwith, he just snaffled that ball right on the sideline, right on the goal line, and he turned it over, but it put Southland under immense pressure. They just had to put that ball, dot it down to get that try.
It's a great dive. Fantastic dive. He just about jumped over everyone to try and score that. Here it is here. Look at that. Superman.
Yes, head straight into the turf.
Well, they've got Baker down this blind side on the right. Orman outside him. Need a solid scrum.
Danger everywhere you look for the home side. Smiley straight out of the scrum, no making around. Tuifua, power on the inside, well taken. He'd come across to help out. Barrett, the skipper, wants the first score. He's been denied. Smiley, does he probe? No, he lays it off for Cleaver. And the try for Taranaki has been secured. Good patience, but a review.
Wants to look for a possible obstruction by a black player prior to the ball being grounded.
Yeah, there was a Taranaki player that come in there almost on a dummy run, and I think for Taranaki that he may have been the stopper of this possible try.
Yeah, you could see it, couldn't you, Kelvin? He just had a couple of players on the way through, and the pass went behind him. See it here.
Just make sure you check out that lucky number about 10 minutes before
Robinson came in, tried to tackle that player, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Robertson shouldn't have been doing that anyhow. He should have stayed out on his man. That's going to be an incredibly tough call.
The interesting thing is that Robinson doesn't protest. I think he decided to take that player out, the dummy runner, and then conceded it may have been the wrong thing.
Now, I suppose you could say Blade Thompson didn't actually take anybody out himself. He was tackled by Robinson, wasn't he?
He's Did he intentionally run in order to block the tackler? Well,
look, I mean, a try was going to be scored. There's no doubt about it. But legality-wise, we'll wait and see.
there was plenty of protest from other players, however, so
Yes, Mike.
let's see if it's in vain or not.
So you're saying obstruction by black, red penalty?
Looks like it's been discounted,
No try.
and a penalty ensues.
Obstruction. And
Well,
yep.
like you said, Kelv, the rules are the rules. Didn't think Blade Thompson actually ran into the guy. I thought he was more tackled by Robinson, but
Here we go.
Yeah, it wasn't like Robinson was trying to tackle the guy that was going to score the try.
No,
But
dead
then
right.
again, I suppose he thought he might have picked up the ball. But anyway, decision's been made, and the answer is still 0-0. I think Taranaki have sent out a clear message. They're intending to keep the ball in hand and try and maintain pressure throughout. And Southland, let's see if they contest the line out. They don't. Berkeley helped himself. Not moving very far at the moment. Now outside the 22. Adams giving instruction as to where the weight needs to go. And now demands the ball. Forwards have other ideas. His captain's got the ball, so he's to make the ultimate decision that he thinks the drive's going well enough. Does Jamie McIntosh? Soon to be on the deck, and then he will have to release it. The clean out, bit slow in coming. Too slow in coming, the referee says.
Two came straight through the middle.
Well, Reece Marshall, take a bow. That is exactly how to do it. He snuck his way like a little slippery snake right through the middle of that maul and got his hands on it. And Jamie, don't complain, just do something about it.
I don't think McIntosh actually knew that he'd come through and got his hands on it, to be fair. He was out there, realised that by that stage it was too late.
Yes, he was looking at the referee, worried about the time it was taking to get it out of there. Sneaked up on him.
Binds. Set.
Great shot there of how the binding now must take place. Holding Thompson, holding it, protecting it for Smiley, and the dive pass and the hollow off the wing to Ifua for the big guys to crash it up. Taylor, more of a dancer than a basher. Smiley and Baker up from fullback. The denied try scorer straight into the referee. Was that some sort of comeback?
Indeed,
It
Shane
was the
Cleaver.
TMO that made the call.
Well, he was the one that referred it to the TMO, so yeah, Shane Cleaver, that's 1-1. Well done.
I think he saw him too.
Sandwich.
Good on him. The referee's worst nightmare, a front rower running straight at him.
And a few have. Shane McDermott, a former first five, played for Southland many years ago. Now living in the Bay of Plenty.
There's another good opportunity here. Taranaki, they're throwing it around using these backs, so see what they do from the scrum.
Set.
Yes, pressure, but it's been repelled. Brooks with the inside pass to Ifua, dragged down by Tim Boys, scurried across, made a good tackle. Barrett up to the 22, looking to offload, decides to go to ground. It's sensible. Nobody there, close enough. Cleaver, boy, he has been fired up. The prop. Tuifua and Taylor combining this time. Taylor holding it for Baker to cut on the inside. This time was not able to make the tackle. David Hall does so inside the 22. Advantage being played, and this time I'm sure they'll look at the posts given the position.
The rucket form.
David Hall, he tried everything to pretend that he wasn't in the road, but he knew exactly what he was doing there. He was being a complete and utter nuisance. Just nice wee cut back into Baker, taking him on one-on-one. Officially, he should have just got out of there, but oh, look, stuck, no. Oh, yeah, he could have moved, so fair penalty there.
Late call up to the squad with Jason Rutledge out. with a pectoral injury throughout the entire season. Not only stepped up to the mark, but also taken the starting role. Didn't think he'd make 100 games, so it looks like he will.
Well, Southland will be stoked to have him too, because there's not exactly a whole lot of hookers around New Zealand. Have a guy of that experience come into the fold, especially when you're replacing Jason Rutledge as well, Tom.
That's true. Everywhere but Canterbury, they've got about 3 or 4. Taylor's kick this time, more accurate than the last, but not accurate enough. So one right, one left. 21 minutes gone, nil apiece.
Just looking at the stats here, the territory, Taranaki have got it all over them, 65 to 35, and possession as well in the low 60s. So putting a lot of pressure on Southland.
Southland have won both their territorial battles in their last 2 games. This time they're behind. You don't have to win that territory battle to win the game. It's what you do with the ball when you have it, no matter where it is in the park. Carmichael gets it back into the Stags territory, but Hardy just went in there, helped himself. Typical John Hardy. Vainga looked to pass, opted to take the tackle. Adams, Eade. Puts the grubber kick through, there's chasers, but it went straight to hand. And Baker, in beautiful position, has returned. Gone too far. Looked good to start with, went over the dead ball line. So the net result is that Eade's kicks turned out very well indeed, positionally.
Well, Scott Eade won't be thrilled with that. It really was a bit of wasted ball, to be fair. He's probably got away with that one, with the kick deep there. John Hardy, fantastic work loose forward-wise, Kelvin.
Yeah, look, he was one of the best for the Highlanders, wasn't he? So he's continuing that form. Good to see.
Just confirming that territory stat referred to by Kelvin, 64-36. Not often the Stags peg down in their own territory for such a time. But no concession of points.
Blind. 6.
And that went nowhere.
We're very nice and stable, boys, so I'll give you footing on that.
Yeah, looking to try to get the scrum right. Very unsteady, isn't it? It's a lot of movement, and everyone trying to clean out their studs, clean the bottom of their boots, give them some good grip.
There is a lot of dew out here too, Kelv. Just wonder if that's sort of not helping the situation.
You can see a little bit of ground to the surface here. Not standing. In recent years, lots of work's gone into it. And Russell, the groundsman, it's very hard to make sure it's in pristine condition for game time ITM Cup. Huge push from Taranaki. They did that a few times to Wellington last week, but not able to turn the ball over by Inga. Not exactly front football when you come out of the set piece in that manner.
Second row, 13 on the feet.
Got to the ground, and they got there first, did Taranaki.
The difference I can see so far during this game is Taranaki, their line speed is impressive. When they've got the ball, they're really hitting it nice and flat. Southland, a couple of times that they've thrown the ball around, the passes have been poor. They've been behind the guy, and it's putting them on the back foot. You just see it here, pass just going to the back, it just halts up everything. This was a good run by Vainga. However, they're just putting themselves under pressure. Let's see what Taranaki can do from the line out.
One Taranaki player there, and that's all they needed. Smiley, Brooks, Tuifua from behind, and Baker. It's going cross-field though, not a lot of forward transition. Tuifua got there, and tackle of boys. Into the arms of Barrett, a little bit lucky to get it back, Taranaki, after making a mess of it on the ground. This is more settled. Brooks with a long pass to Tuifua. 2 lines of players to confuse the defence. Mahola, his game is a simple one. He runs into you or over you. Marshall learning the game very quick, this young man. Smiley and Brooks just happy to just pass it on at the moment, but we saw he's capable of a telling break. Bernie Hall on the ground.
Now release!
This ball, the Stag sense, might end up on their side, but because it's tracked, it will be retained by the visitors.
Both guys are lying there, so we'll go scrum, eh?
Yeah, ball got tied up there, and when you got a guy like Tim Boys and David Hall there, previously a Lucy himself, they certainly did it well to hold that up and hold that ball.
Yeah, Bernie Hall there. His dad Peter played 33 games in the 80s for Taranaki. And there's confirmation, the biggest win, and this is incredible, isn't it? The Shield game in 1959, 23-6. That was a huge score in those days. Well celebrated. First played together, incredibly, in 1899. And when you consider the geographic location of the two provinces before the days of flight, literally, that wasn't invented until about 1903. They managed to find a way to play a game together. They're playing again tonight, and Taranaki's the boss at the moment, but not on the scoreboard. Another opportunity inside the 22, but the better one is the penalty just outside.
Yeah, Mr. Hardy, the loose forward, just coming off that scrum way too early. He knew there was either going to be an 8-9, they were going to be put under pressure. He peeled off that scrum early, and he got caught.
Well, Taranaki just been a wee bit more composed here. You can see Hardy here, he's trying to stop Barrett from hanging on to him, but unfortunately with that, he let go of his grip. Penalty straight away.
You've got to have your shoulder right on top of that scrum. Can't detach any more than that shoulder. Hanging on by your fingertips just doesn't cut it.
Well, he's missed his first couple. Fairly similar policy. He should have learned. He's hitting them pretty well, Tom. It's just a case of getting them in the right direction.
Standard goal kick in the first couple of weeks has been astonishingly good. And this man was among the high stats, but they're starting to fall away, especially if he misses another one. But not on this occasion. The scoreboard ticks over for the first time this evening in favour of Taranaki. They lead by 3-0 after 28 minutes.
And in a couple of minutes, folks, we'll be announcing the two lucky numbers.
Yeah, very experienced, wise and respected director assured me this was going to be a tri-fest. So I'm sure he'll be right eventually.
Well, if you look at the amount of territory Taranaki's had, you'd probably say they could have put some more points on the board.
Jackson Ormond Blazer game last week. They make you play 20 games to get your Blazer in Taranaki, so you earn it. But he didn't celebrate it with a win. He's looking to change it this time. Smiley's kick again with distance, but too much of it in the lateral direction, and it goes out in the full. All the good work undone.
Well, look, this is a good chance here. Southland, their line-outs have gone all right apart from their first one. They handed it over. But let's see some hard straight running from Southland.
Yeah, and really passes out in front too. They've really, some of the skill levels just been a wee bit passing behind that stopped the attack, put guys on the back foot. They really need the ball out in front of them so they can run onto it.
It's a bit the quietest you've heard the terraces for some time, isn't it, Brendan?
Yeah, you did right there, mate. I'm not getting much abuse tonight.
Tim Boys is towered high, I should say, and pulled that one in. And a drive here into the 22 could motivate that crowd into voice. And that'll inspire the men in maroon. And they'll be happy with the concession, which is a penalty in a handy spot. Try and level it up.
Yeah, Reece Marshall was trying to be as slippery as a snake again, but he flung around the outside and, yeah, well and truly offside. Great opportunity here for Eid.
Jeremy McIntosh having a good talk to Shane McDermott, but I can assure you, not only has he heard it before, he said it. He talked incessantly as a player.
I'll be happy with it, but I'll keep an eye on it.
And much more composed as a referee. So Eid looks to have shaken off that early leg injury. A bit closer than his last attempt. Joy's kicking here. The occasions that he has played club football here for his last year for the Stags. Good record of kicking, and it's just got better as he does bring the scores even. Southland 3, Taranaki 3.
Yeah, well, he definitely does look a lot more comfortable now, Tommy. You're right, that knee injury, he's definitely shaking it off. Hit the ball sweet as a nut then.
So back to square one effectively for the sides. 9 minutes before the half-time break. Neither yet to make a compelling statement of control in this match.
Well, that guy there, Cal, to me, is the guy that's got to get involved in this game. He's an excitement machine. We've seen what he can do for the Chiefs. They really need to get the ball in his hands and let him run.
And he did right. He's, with his 55 caps, by far the most experienced of the backs. So yes, his leadership will be called upon. Broadhurst delivered that. And Tui Fua straight into Boys. He doesn't miss them often. Broadhurst in the tackle of Hall. Doesn't have time to rob the ball. So Maholo way past Barrett, getting ever so closer to the 22. To cross the line in this phase. Kick in behind by Tui Fua, which is well judged in terms of distance.
Okay, folks,
If they want to contest the 5-metre line out, might be the next option.
Well, that was an interesting option there from Tui Fua. Taranaki, they look good when they've got the ball in hand, don't they? They just work both sides. They just hit it up. Almost gave away possession then, but we'll see what pressure they put on this line out.
Crucial. Ball gets this accurately away and does. Dixon pulled it in.
5-2-4
Need to work their way into a better field position for the kicker, who's not deep. It looks like Adams will take it himself, and does. He's got height, not a lot of distance, but definitely into touch, which was the first objective.
Well, just watching a wee bit of this Taranaki attack, Kelvin, they seem to be running quite sideways. It's very much a sideways attack, and they're trying to bring those guys on the outside straight. Maybe if they just straighten a wee bit up, Tui Fua's doing a lot of damage. You see here Barrett out there in the midfield. Do they use him again?
One-handed flick, and Smiley waited till it bounced, and that meant the ball had already run past him. Got a free go at it, but as soon as they got to ground, fumbled it.
Well, that man there, he's been around a long time, was involved in Otago, North Harbour skipper, Hurricanes, so he's certainly been around the traps.
There's a lot of talk in Taranaki about his backup Jamison Gibson Park being an option. There's so many new guys in the back line. They wanted that wise head.
Would that not be a penalty, Kelvin? If that guy's on the deck and he said it's come off a foot, the guy's on the ground, he's not allowed to play the ball. Wouldn't that be a penalty, not a knock-on?
Yeah, I would have thought they would have been offside there, or intentionally offside.
Straight out the same channel, but it was hooked, says the referee. So it's caught everyone napping. Tui Fua into another strong tackle from Tim Boys, and another one. So his work rate immense already tonight on defence. Marshall, beautiful hand from Hoyata and Baker, and the try coming. No question about this one. Jackson Orman over. No need for review.
Wow, talk about bad luck. There's a bit of argument going on about the scrum, whether it was hooked or not.
It was hooked.
The referee was confident it was hooked. It comes straight back out the same channel after Southland tried to throw it in.
Mike, can you please check the corner?
Chris Smiley snavelled it.
Now they're checking for the placement of the ball, nothing to do with the scrum, even though that's the centre of debate.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with the try, to be fair.
The referee explaining that it was hooked through that tunnel. It didn't just roll through. That's the point of difference. That man's not complaining.
Oh, I believe it was played in the scrum line, so.
Jackson Ormond will await the decision, but he'll be confident in his mind that he stayed in the field of play throughout. He goes to ground in the tackle, but you'll see that he's well inside and well over the try line before those feet touch the sideline. So I think the news is this time is going to be bad for the hometown fans.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I don't even know what they're looking at. That's a try.
Yep, there's a try the first time, the second and the third.
Yes, Mike.
We'll just take a wider angle look at that try, will we?
It's just, all it's doing is leaving me out here in the cold longer.
And we have found lucky number 2.
Good try, Taranaki. They did it well, didn't they, guys? They spread the ball both ways. Put Coop Baker in a bit of space, and Ormond finished it very, very well.
Just in front of the main grandstand, please. That's number 5
From the Southern club, and a big smile this time.
Yeah, and just see beautiful sleight of hands. Kurt Baker, just nice draw and pass. Brian Milne had come in off his wing, probably tried his best, but here we go. Andre, get the cherry on the top.
So, try number 2 for the season for Taranaki. Won't be converted, but they'll be happy enough with the 8-3 lead.
Unsuccessful, but after 35 minutes it is Taranaki.
Well, Kelvin Howiata, beautiful set of hands there. He really did set up the try.
Yeah, they've looked good, Taranaki. Like you say, if they can straighten that up, there's a man Howiata there, big ginger beard on him. Again, using guys like Tui Fua running hard and straight. And, Southland look a bit weak when they swing back.
Eid, will he make the 10-metre mark with his kick? No, I think it sailed over the touchline, and the option of a scrum was a simple decision for Barrett to make.
Oh, look, these are basics that should not be happening in the game at this level. Okay, I'm all for a bit of pressure and only trying to get the 10, but just putting themselves under immense pressure are Southland.
Well, big blind here, Kelv. Baker once again in that 15 channel, Ormond wide again. Still a few minutes to go to the kick deep, put a bit of pressure on, go for the line out, or have a crack.
Push from Southland to Thompson, and Smiley switch direction, Brooks, and then Tui Fua across to Naholo. They have 2 men on them. They know that it's exactly what it takes. Milne's at the front, but good following up play from Hall. Kept that maul up for an awful long time. Eventually, though, they couldn't free it. So Southland defenders will take that as a victory.
Well, they will. They tied that ball up well, didn't they? Just again, Taranaki. See here, taking the ball up, and that is just good strength in there. Holding that ball up. Look at that. A lot of power exertion in there, isn't there?
Southland will be happy enough just to get out of this danger zone. Maybe concede a 5-point deficit going into the break. The scrum more stable than the last. Good platform for Adams to clear via the boot of Eid. He puts a lot more on it this time to get it outside of the half. So it's a long way back for Baker and co. Crosses the field, and Eid anticipates it well and almost keeps it in, and then it beats him eventually. Knew exactly what Baker was up to, wasn't able to thwart it.
Yeah, very clever kick there from Baker. Just sees, he noticed there was some ground in the background. He did everything to try to bring that in, but the kick was too good, better than the man.
Last chance for Taranaki to do some damage. Norman, he's already done some. And good just to sack in a few defenders, no more. looking more effective, Taranaki with ball in hand now.
Both stuck.
Straight to ground. Time for one more scrum.
Can't get out of there.
Yeah, interesting. Jared Hoada, he gets the ball down here. He certainly gets swamped by a few of his old teammates, that's for sure. Obviously, Jared Hoada, ex-Highlander.
David Hall getting some attention, some spray to get him through the next minute. Kurt Baker mentioned that he's let Gordon Tetchens know that he wants to have a crack at 15s, 2 years for the Highlanders. And we'll see Taranaki through their ITM Cup campaign as well. So committed himself to his province. Last week, sort of a very good display of someone who read the play particularly well, taking just about every kick on the full that Wellington threw at him. Got the speed to cover the ground.
There's a good chance here for Taranaki. Again, Tuifua, they're hitting him hard straight in midfield. They seem to hit in midfield, do another hit out wider, and then sweep back. So we'll see if they repeat it again.
Happy enough with the 5-point lead, Taranaki, but they'd love more. There's 68% territorial dominance, but when you haven't won a game and you've been struggling a bit, you'll take any lead that's on offer. Had some success here in recent years, so the away factor hasn't phased them. 47-18 last year, as we showed you, and a narrow win in the Shield game the year before. Last chance for a Taranaki attack. It's pointing and gesticulating, but the ball's still in play, and Tuifua is per the pattern. Drives forward and gets a metre or two. It's enough to get them on the front foot. Brooks for the first time has a dab, but it was ill-timed on this occasion with too many defenders, but no harm done. Marshall gets through a couple, gets within 6 metres, squeezes it back, available for Smiley. He sees players out wide. Tuifua not running this time, and the draw to bring Baker into the play was forward. That will conclude the first half action, and Taranaki will lead it at the break by 5, 8-3.
8 points to 3 here in this round 3 ITM Cup clash.
Taranaki very much on the front foot in the latter part of that half, dominating territory and possession, but only just ahead on the scoreboard. And James Broadhurst is downtown with Brendan Laney.
Oh, James, tough first half, mate. How's the body feeling?
It's a bit of a ding-dong battle, and probably feeling lucky to only be up by 5, but it's going good.
Mate, what do you need to do to win this one?
Score points, I think.
Good option, mate. Can't get a drink and go and work it out.
Thanks very much.
Cheers, mate.
Yes, he's earned that drink, as has his teammates. Half-time break here in Invercargill, 8-3 to Taranaki.
from Invercargill. What's that? Siadia. All right, this is contestant number 2. It is Ben. Hello, Ben. Where are you from? Oh, the Battle of the Tautau. It's going to be fierce because we want to make this quite even. Jaden is going to tow Magic, Steve-O.
It's a game that hasn't risen to great heights so far, but the makings of a resurgence by Taranaki for their season is underway. They've scored the only try. Taylor has kicked 1 penalty, but not been quite as accurate as before. This is one that was denied, and Kelvin, it's all about the obstruction. Was it or wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. Shane Cleaver unlucky there. Just see here, points opportunity, another points opportunity. That levelled the scores at 3-all. Scotty Eden, it was about fair, but this was a big change. See here, nice sleight of hand from Hawada, and Baker just drawing in the man. Jackson Orman, the only try off the first half.
Yes, they had a couple of looks at that, but no need. And a lot of talking here. They need to fire up Southland, in my opinion, Kelvin. They look a bit subdued.
Yeah, they need to take a couple of liven up pills in there, that's for sure. And have a brief look at the stats, and as you can see, Taranaki all over Southland at the moment. Territory 70-30. Possession you can also see very similar, and also minutes in opposition 22. Because of that territory and possession, 8 minutes, which is big. That's a lot of work, a lot of pressure on Southland.
Well, we promised you fireworks on a beautiful night in Invercargill. They're still to come, and I'm sure Colin Cooper will be lighting the match paper and standing aside. At the halftime break, it's still Taranaki 8, Southland 3.
Just a big hello to all the kids who are here, of course, with the Southland Times Kids Go Free promotion. And look out for the week leading up to the Waikato Clash all next week, for your Kids Go Free will be available.
The first 40 minutes for you, what was the message to the guys?
Just try to get a bit more territory. We've been playing a lot in our half, and but the boys have been tackling well.
not a lot separating the sides here. The home team, Southland, just 3 points. Taranaki have scored the one and only try. They lead by 8-3. And we'll hear what Southland have to say about the second half tactics. Former lock, now assistant coach, Hawani McDonald, will be joining Brendan Lady downstairs for his thoughts on the next 40 and what they're going to do about the trailing scoreline at the moment.
Well, Hawani, a tough sort of first 40 minutes for you. What was the message to the guys?
Just try to get a bit more territory. We've been playing a lot in our half, and but the boys have been tackling well. Bit of a suspect scrum that led to that try, but we just have to deal with that, I guess.
And, you know, I know it's tough with those new scrum laws, but the boys seem to be handling them pretty well.
Yeah, it is. We've been talking to Whopper, and the boys kind of come to grips with it. So I think from the first week of the ITM, it's definitely improved.
Well, good luck for the second half, mate. Hope it goes well.
Cheers, pal.
Yeah, just a quick scrum question for you, Kelvin Middleton. Just been visited by Brent Lamond, who's a club steward, a club legend, I'll call him, he'll like that. Got a bit of a theory that he's given us a pie in the process, but he's got a bit of a theory that when you've got a scrum, that perhaps the halfbacks should have a time to put the ball in rather than just that signal from the referee, because the advantage being lost by both hookers hearing when the ball's due.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, that, and it was raised earlier when these new scrum laws were brought out, and officially the referee is meant to be very quiet when he tells a halfback, so no one is meant to know apart from the halfback. However, they're pretty much yelling at the halfback to get the ball in, so as you say, that advantage is going to the other team as well.
So Scotty, he's got a early tweak of his leg, but he'd not only get through his first 40 minutes, I should say, put some points on the board.
Jamie.
And his return for the second half, fit and healthy, and awaiting Shane McDermott to signal the restart.
Wait for the whistle, please.
There's Shane Cleaver and co. Look to get back into the fray, carry on the good work that they finished with in the first stanza. Broadhurst over the 22 and beyond.
Step here.
Temple of Fatilio for the kick is high, it's chased with vigour. Robinson plucks it out of the night sky effectively. Muyata with the tackle. It's placed on the Southland side. And Fatilofa, again, you can't question his tenacity and willingness to get into the work. The inside pass was a tricky one. And Tim Cornforth broke the line. Just a little bit slow on the recycle. It's given Taranaki a time to reassemble their defences. Hardy, all out. Eade, Robinson looming, but it's this time William Spears who gets in between Robinson and the ball. And Fatilofa, another touch. And it's one that'll result in a penalty and get Southland that much closer if they want the points. Two looks from Adams, and Hall sees a gap, takes it inside the 22 himself. But nothing comes of it.
Number 1. Sorry, number 3.
From a shot at goal.
Yeah, Carl Carmichael there from Taranaki, doing everything he could to slow that ball down. He totally killed it. Well picked up there.
Well, it's the start the Southland wanted. To get these points on the board. Fatilofa have been very prominent in the first couple of minutes. Nice straight runner of the ball, Kelvin. I really like the cut of his jib.
Oh, this Fatilofa, he's a big, strong lad, isn't he? Look, I tell you what, he ex-Mount Albert Grammar captain, and it's good to see him out there leading by example as well tonight.
Last year going through a growing phase, and the physicality of the game didn't quite get on top of it, but it has now. He'll enjoy this. Get back within 2. No problems whatsoever. Sails into the hospitality suites. And Southland trail 8-6.
Yeah, just picking up on Fatilofa. I do believe he was born with a birth defect where the head of his femurs were too big for his hip socket. So he's had that operated on. I tell you what, we're seeing a bigger, better man this year.
Oh, yeah, they're working well.
You have taken up a medical degree.
Bluffing his way through it, Tom, don't you worry.
Most of us just read the ITM Cup guide. He reads the medical dictionary. It's Hardy makes inroads. Robinson fakes and it works. Gets past 1-2 and it comes out the back door. So Tuifua can't believe his luck. He's in. The second five just picked up the stray ball and punished Southland severely.
Mike, are you there?
But we'll have another look about how that ball did come to be loose, but it looked like Robinson may have just dropped it.
Yeah, I think it was peeled out of his arms by someone, so this will be what they're looking at, whether it went forward from Taranaki.
Mike, what I'm looking for here is whether the ball was played by a black player and whether 12 black was in front of a black player in an offside position before he came to here.
Well, he just dropped that, and it's open general play, so I don't think you can be offside, can you?
Oh, maybe that just came off Jared Huayata, to be fair. That may be what they're looking at, but
okay.
He dropped it pretty clean, didn't he?
Right. Huayata puts the tackle in. Falls on the ground. Does Huayata touch it? No, not to me. We're struggling to find something wrong with that, but just see if someone was offside earlier, perhaps. No, out of the line. Watching again, drops the ball.
I think he's all over that. That is going to be a very good 5-pointer, possibly.
I think we've got a tidy ball.
So again, you're just looking for some touch of the ball from a Taranaki player, perhaps, but it's the inside arm of Robinson pushes it away from Huayata, and Tuifua thinks Christmas and birthday all wrapped up in one. Here's the call from Mike Bowman.
Yes, Mike.
Yes, confirming what we suspected, a try to Taranaki.
And the try is scored by
a happy man, spent the summer in Spain, returned to the Taranaki and got himself some rugby time and has repaid the faith in the selectors.
Yeah, look, it's incredibly unfortunate for Southland, but I tell you what, you make your luck, and Taranaki did everything, and Tuifua, yep, clean pair of heels. He's happy with that.
Number 13's unlucky.
So, Taylor with a couple of successes, with some more. And that's good too. Things coming right now for Taranaki.
Yeah, and a change here. I don't think Jackson Orman has really hurt himself in the first half, as we see the replay here. Just clean dropped it, setting up the try. Tuifua, well taken. And unfortunately for Jackson Orman, his night, Tamanavula and 22 has gone on to replace him.
Oh, there's a chance Southland wanted. Gift! It's a present exchange. One gift for another. Tim Cornforth pounces on a Taranaki error, and they're in for their first try of the year.
Producer might be right, guys. It might be a try fest.
Look at that, I tell you what, that is brilliant work from Cornforth. Chasing up, doing everything that the coaches would have said, and a big error there from Taranaki, Chris Smiley, and the new man coming on, Tami Navula. And look at that, Johnny on the spot. Great try.
Yes, either nobody called Brendan or they both did something went wrong there.
Well, yeah, and fairness to say, I'd say that Tamanavula probably should have left it for the half, but fresh on the field, he was keen to get his hands on the ball, and unfortunately for them, it's given Southland a chance to get back in this match.
Tricky one. The left footer, and the moans of the crowd give the game away. As it's flagged away. So not the engineered try that Southland were perhaps hoping for, but they'll take it nevertheless.
Well, Southland, first try, they only scored 16 last year, so they're on the board this year. I'll be hoping there's plenty more.
The pace setters in the competition in 2012, Canterbury with 58, I think it was, 47 for Counters Manukau. They're the ones that win the competition. So there's work to be done, and maybe it's inspired some more adventurous play and more accurate play. This time Robinson to Dixon, and he's got genuine gas, this number 8. We saw part of it until the ball was dropped on the ground. Smiley under pressure.
Well, Kel, that's what's really killing Southland at the moment, is this turnover ball. They're getting themselves in position. We saw Robinson earlier having a crack. We said we had to get into the game. Great run by Dixon. He is a fantastic footballer, this boy, with plenty of pace, but it's just that skill level there. Turnover ball, opportunity lost.
Oh, that's it, and that's where Southland have been this year. They've done a lot of things right, but it's been the wee things, the wee errors, the turnovers in their game, individual errors that are costing them.
Dixon at that week's rest. Saw Harley Tapolo play one of his best games for Southland for some time. Still got his job back. Knows that he may not be an automatic selection.
Isn't it a great guy to be able to call on from the bench? He's been around a long time, Harley Tapolo. He's a very, very good footballer.
Yes, and very effective up in Northland. They've got a good band of loose forward players here in Southland, and a long campaign, so no hesitation to give some of them a bit of a breather from time to time. And Harley played a lot in the pre-season matches as well, so he's had a lot of game time under his belt already. Penalty. And Southland this time on the receiving end, and it's settling within range. Lots to look forward to for rugby fans for the remainder of the weekend.
Just see here, this is for the purist. I've got no idea what he said then. I've got no idea what that actually means. And that is the truth.
I must admit, I'm still bemused about the fact that the halfback gets told by the referee to put the ball in the scrum. I thought they were quite intelligent and could figure that out themselves.
We've known a few halfbacks in our time, Buffer.
Yeah.
Come on, name names. Name names.
I think people will know who we're talking about.
And he won't mind this angle, but this one is again hooked. So another opportunity lost.
Yeah, he's just not quite getting through the ball, Tom. See a change coming up here soon. Here it comes. Carmichael and number 1, Cal Carmichael's had a pretty solid game. He's going to be coming off in a minute.
Stay out and not go in.
Sione Leah warming up here, guys. The change won't be far away at all.
So Brooks decides they want to get back into enemy territory. Robinson runs it out of it. Wainga not active in the first 10-15 minutes, quieter thereafter. Paul makes the tackle. And McIntosh, confronted by Huyata, thrown to the ground. Pass forward on that occasion, spotted by the referee and all and sundry.
Yeah, here comes the change now, guys.
One black sub.
I tell you what, there's a big piece of meat running on the field. This guy here, holy mollies, Sione Leah, he's definitely not small.
Black scrum. Down the side.
Joins the front row, that's done a pretty good job so far. Needs to keep it up.
Look, it's been an intriguing battle, I tell you what. You got Hardy, Dixon, Boys, all these guys. Great loose forward trio from Taranaki. Barrett, Thompson, Bernie Hall. Some classy loosies, New Zealand.
And Smiley poised. Waiting the signal, there it is. We heard it loud and clear. But no chance of getting that in before it fell over.
Hey, boys. You have it.
Talking to his troops about the next phase of action, but let's have a look at what's coming up. Wellington, Manawatu, 2:30 tomorrow afternoon, but the most talked about match, of course, anticipated, Otago Hawke's Bay. I'm not working for Sky that day, but boy, I'm jumping in the car and driving 2.5 hours to see that match and be part of that occasion, along with the 20,000 people that have bought tickets. Do not miss it on Sky. Do not miss it if you're in Dunedin.
Set.
That's a better scrum and a good response from Taranaki. Good. Southland had the way on there. Charging through Tamanavalu.
He's out.
Smiley and Taylor held up. Smiley. And there's a hole. Reece Marshall, he's impressed me today. So, made some ground, made a lot of tackles. Running around of each other, but not declared interference. Thompson able to get it to the deck without penalty. Brooks, and this one is a penalty, and it's coming Taranaki's way. Barrett thinks there's a gap, there isn't. Becky has closed it. Marshall trying to prise it open once more. Smiley out to Tuifua. He's tasted the touchline, the try line I should say, once before. He wanted to savour it again. Got very close, within 10. Smiley to Barrett. Tackles being missed have been costly for Southland so far. Now they shore up their defence and have to. They are within 6. They clean out a little slow. Southland at the ready. We are charging. David Hall round the ankles. Tuifua with a long pass this time, and Baker couldn't control it. Backwards, then forwards, then into the hands of Vaenga. Southland out of trouble for the moment, at least, through the boot of Robbie Robinson. And Jackson Ormond is sideline with Brendan Lady.
Lost forward, no advantage.
Done, big fella.
Yeah, I think someone dove on me on my calf down in the corner there, so just a bit tired at the moment. Can't really run, so be all right though.
Mate, what was said at half-time to win this game? What was the message from the coaches?
Just got to play it down their end and build some pressure, and I think the points will come there. Just cut out our little errors that gets us down in our territory, and we'll play from there, I think.
Nice, mate. I hope the calf comes right, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon, eh?
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Good morning, mate.
Well, it looks like they're doing what the coaches told them, playing in the right part of the park, Kelvin.
As they have done so again, territory 65% to Naki. Just putting Southland under pressure, aren't they? Tuifua, he's standing out for me. Done extremely well, just running hard and fast. He spent a lot of time on the bench. He's been involved in the team for 5 years and he's only played 26 games. But on this performance, the way he's playing this year, tell you what, I think you keep him in that number 12, that's for sure.
Yes, they're lost a lot of experience in the inside backs midfield area with the retirements and departures. So somebody who wants to put their hand up as he has this afternoon will give them some comfort. Not so comfortable as Dixon off the back, because he was always being hustled and bustled, but not into error. He's been safe. And Barrett makes the tackle, but the ball remains on the southern side. And Robinson's right boot very effective at this time, some 60 metres upfield, and a little juggle from Baker, but he backs himself to beat William Spears, and does eventually, but was slowed down, got inside Southland's half. Ball's available to Smiley. He finds Thompson on the shoulder, running out of space, terrace side. Marshall going back there. Smiley finding Brooks. And way out this time, making the mistake. Counter from Milne and Vaenga in unison. Can they create something for Cornforth? He goes down on the deck, but makes it available. Fired out by Adams and Eade, respectively. Robinson lobbed it over. And Hardy got the brunt of the defender, Thompson. Ball now available. And it looked promising to start with, and it does so again. Eade with the step. Not through the defensive line, and now starting to make those breaks. Southland looking more assured with the ball in hand. Milne on the deck. And 6 taking too long to exit the breakdown, incur the wrath of the referee. The tap is taken by Taylor Adams. He's a confident young man who's made a burst inside the 22. Thinks he can create something for Southland from there. He may well be right. Voinga looked at his outsides, decides there was nothing on there. Better to be central with choices. Bobbled for a moment by Robinson, but he got it under control for Raw. Milne tidied it up. 10 out from the 22. A little bit of impetus in the Southland play now. 10. It's placed for Adams. Beckuous sees another big man in front of him, takes him on, Broadhurst, and wins. The ball still available for the Stags. Barrett, it's Nick Barrett. Hides it. And it was Voinga to Hardy. That gets them back over and inside that 22. Ball trapped. Fatilofa. Voinga sees something around the fringes. It's not a hole. Good continuous phase of play for Southland. Fewer errors, more progress. Let's see, mathematical formula. Ball sitting on the ground for Adams. This time he's caught by Marshall, the man that just got his hand on the ball and propelled it forward, and Dixon goes in that same direction. Adams quickly with Eade waiting for him. Robinson, the danger. Too further tackler. Baker makes the next one, brings Cornforth to his knees. There's pressure on, the ball's loose, it's gathered and it's available for Tamanavalu. He stays in the field of play, he fires it back on the inside. Robinson can't pick it up, but there's been a foot in touch and a respite for all involved.
10 reds,
Wow, look at that. That was the best phase of play that Southland have pulled together, I think, for a long time. Just kept that ball, continued it, just kept at it. Game. Just need to get this passing right. Too many passes going behind. Good wee break here by Robinson. Game just getting nice there, and they had the numbers there, but the ball popped out. Taranaki quick to snavel it.
Step over.
And again, just put his foot out.
Well, heap of changes come up here, guys. Mitchell Croswell's gone on. He's gone on for Barrett in 6. Jameson Gibson Park has gone on as well. He's gone into 9 for Taranaki, and Marty McKenzie's gone on for Scott Eade.
Okay, so Taranaki have taken their captain off. Jared Hoyata will take over the reins, and he'll have his work cut out here in organising the defence. And Southland now on a rampage. Fatty Loafer. Ball sitting there for McIntosh to drive onto. You can see the post top right of your picture. Penalty right in front of the posts. Ruck formed.
Leave!
And
hey, boys.
so nothing in that to cause concern. The 3 points,
Are we done, lads?
which Marty McKenzie, now the first 5 for Southland, will enjoy taking.
Ruck form first, then hands.
Yeah, he called the ruck nice and loud. Bernie Hall, maybe it was that headgear. He kept his fingers on it, he kept trying to get it. You know, could have possibly been professional. He certainly slowed it up and stopped the momentum. You can see here,
Get the bottles away, please.
Jamie McIntosh taking it up. Again, the hands on it. And, just give him a lazy shoulder.
I thought that one was okay, but I'll keep looking.
And just catching up.
Couple of cuffs at best. And McKenzie welcomes a first kick off the tee. That's a point blank range. Converts. Just one in it now. Taranaki 15, Southland 14.
Well, we've got another change here. Namir Sakita, number 18, going on for number 5, James Broadhurst. Well, Southland have finally got their game going, Kelvin. They've actually held onto the ball, got some phases together and put a bit of pressure on this Taranaki team.
Yeah, they look good when they get their phases together.
Hold 12.
Just got to continue it.
Last quarter. And the game has swung into action for sure. Beckius took it, protected it. Adams thought there was something on short side. Blair put an end to it, but only for the moment. Nick Barrett taken by Songita. Adams to Hardy, helped by Boys. And Adams finds Mackenzie. There's many a string to his bow, kicking one of them. And now Tamanavalu, he too senses holes and takes them. And that was a very good gain for Taranaki. The little kick through from Gibson Park. It's useful in terms of a territorial gain, but they do concede possession.
Well, again, Taranaki doing everything right to put Southland under pressure.
Red ball.
Tommy Navula, that was a great run, wasn't it? Look at that, just eyeing up the gap, going right in between it. Beautiful fend. And look, what I liked, he set up, nice clean ball, and look at that blowout. Taranaki guys all over it, providing good ball.
I don't think he'd be satisfied though till he scores a try. If he scores a try, make for the one they conceded. However, Southland have work to do of their own to get it out of this part of the field. Fatilofa with his body on the right side of it to protect the ball from the marauding Taranaki players who have been insistent but illegal.
No, entry through here.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bit of a silly penalty, really, for Taranaki. They had the Southland side under a bit of pressure there. They didn't really need to go diving in for that ball. I know it's the first instinct to go and get it, but really, you've got to be smart. They had Southland under the pump a wee bit there, so a bit unnecessary, I thought.
Yeah, I agree. I think they just couldn't help themselves. They could see the ball in there and just coming in an offside position. Need to enter in through the gate, which is basically keeping it simple, coming out the back.
Taranaki conceding 9 penalties already. Only 14 so far, which isn't too bad in total. Easy ball for Fatilofa, almost in slow motion. Kick was long, but ample time for Baker to make good. It's taken by Dixon, and he sides that caution the best action. So Taranaki scored 74 points against Southland in 1997. Only 5 players got on the score sheet. And that's when they lost that day, Southland, and scored their most points against Taranaki, 43. Into that game, it was after a shield challenge, an unsuccessful one. Went to Taranaki and got badly hurt. That is Marty McKenzie. It's going to sit beautifully in terms of applying pressure on Taranaki defenders, but they're up to the task. They backed themselves to run it, but the kick was poor and the dive by Maholo was good, but this is even better. It's Milne getting very close, 10 out. And certainly more purpose about the running of Southland. Fatilofa got it to ground. Almost had it stolen. Cornforth crunched in a Baker tackle. And 7 out from the line. Adams burrowing in for it. Taranaki trying to make things difficult by slowing it down. That'll be their ploy. And successfully slow at the moment. To the point. Yeah. David Hall, who looked round in rather guilty fashion.
Straight on the side, on top of the other man.
And has given away that field position.
Again, a highlight in the Taranaki pack has been that Reece Marshall hooker. Look, he was a chief 2013. Tell you what, he is doing, making every post a winner tonight. He's in there like a loose forward. He's snabbling ball. He's making yards. Playing incredibly well, and he was the one there that pilfered that ball out of there. You're right, Tom. Southland look incredibly good when they've got good, quick ball, but as soon as it goes slow, they just look a bit wary on it.
Step out, please. 1, 2 metres, 3.
This throw only just outside the 22, so Taranaki got a ways to go. That was partially charged, the Gibson Park kick. Regathered. And now Taranaki back on the front foot. Brooks under Hardy, but not quite past him. Gibson Park. Songita standing tall. Bernie Hall with him. Half back, quick on the job. That's what he's known for, Jamison Gibson Park. Terrier-like activity. Songita, completely different kettle of fish. This man is brute power and strength. Gibson Park, Brooks. And back to look after it. William Spears and Robinson working together, taking a little bit of the pressure off.
Well, I've seen 2 kicks by both teams. They've tried to put it just into a corner and put a bit of pressure on. Taranaki getting the ball back here, back on attack.
Not sighted at the moment. Gibson Park does find it, and Tui Fua. We know now where the major threat's going to come from. Well versed in his capabilities. And this time it's Southland making sure ball does not fire out of those mauls and rocks. Layer to the ground. And Reece Marshall for me. He has been a star. Maholo unavailable. To Taylor, he got it to the ground, and every time Gibson Park picked up the ball, he's looking for some space to run in. Songita is saying he'll make space. Boys in there trying to disrupt the position, but immediately Southland back on their feet. Nobody committed to that at all, and everyone's available for defence. And they'll need it. Taranaki showing good patience here. So often teams panic a little bit when they get within sight of the goal line. No sign of that at this stage, however. Held on just a moment too long.
Undoing all the good work there. Again, that ball maintenance from Taranaki, superb. Making big yards too. Just chewing up that field, using the one-off runners. And as you say, Gibson Park, boy, he certainly added a wee bit of spark around that area.
Towering punt from Marty McKenzie.
9 and 14. 9 and 14.
Yeah, boys, we've heard who's coming off. And now being replaced by Willis Halaholo at 21. And Mia Kanatale, he's going into 9.
7, red.
Taylor Adams had a productive night.
Hold the ball, Pete, please.
Ken Kanatale, give them a bit something extra. We said Tim Boyd's coming off as well, guys. Day White is coming on to replace him. He's going on in 19.
Hello came to Southland with the William Spears and replaces him in the back line and provides a bit of bulk in doing so. Now finding run that jumper successfully tonight, Southland. That kick too far, too much on it, both sideways and forward. Not a great start to the Fijian halfback's day.
Another replacement here for Taranaki too. 16, Timo Tatavaha has gone on. He's replaced a very productive Reece Marshall. I thought he's had a fantastic game tonight for Taranaki.
Might be a concussion check on the hooker. We'll wait news on that. Throw, a success. Brooks, Crossville. Now, looking for those replacements to add some punch and layer obliges. There's the little dab we talked about with Gibson Park. He saw just a glimpse of light. Tuifua held up this time by Kematali and Co. Looks like Tipole might be on there too. So here's Fedalofa with a turnover, and Nick Barrett ball inside Southland territory for just a moment until Robinson put the kick in. Naholo, well, it escaped his attentions and he put it down.
Yeah, this is time for the Southland boys to throw everything against it. Not bad, is it, when you can bring on Harley Tipole, Tongan World Cup 2007. You got Kinatali, played 20+ tests for Fiji.
We've got a 2 and a 1 down, so we need
knock on there by Naholo. Tell you what, they just got to keep on attacking Southland. They need to attack.
I'll tell you what, guys, this is very interesting. Taranaki hooker Timo Tuatavaha has gone down with a shoulder, and he's just gone on the field. Cleaver has just gone up the tunnel for a concussion test.
Here we go. One of the highlights of the night. Tuifua just running big, hard and straight. He's also pretty much, there goes his try here. What I've been impressed about him, he's also acting like a loose forward as well. He's putting a lot of pressure on, but look, he's a big, tough man to stop and bring down, and like I'll say, future's looking good for him. Whatever he did in Spain for those 4 months, and he might have to go back for another time. And why not?
Well, another guy,
You right too?
number 21, Rick McKenna is going on. He's replacing Waisaki Naholo. So interesting change there. So McKenna might go back to fullback. They move Kurt Baker to the left wing.
Good standing for 70 minutes. Let's finish.
He's going to make his debut under pressure is Rick McKenna, just defending a 1 point lead. Pressure's on, 9 minutes to go, a fraction under that.
Brilliant, isn't it, Rick McKenna? We love our Heartland competition that's also running at the moment, and Rick McKenna played for South Canterbury last year, so to see him come up to the ITM.
Straight on the ground. Harley Tipole's had a haircut since last week.
So what I want is a closer space, because I think we've crept away from where we've been. Okay.
I like it.
Well, it's a great guy to bring on, isn't it? Sort of 8 to 10 minutes to go, you're bringing a guy on his experience. Played fantastically well last week. He just adds, doesn't he?
Oh, he sure does. Crowd, they're waiting for something to happen. Still believe there's 8 minutes left. Can see Southland pull through this.
It's certainly a nail-biter for the many fans who've turned up. They saw the day was fine, committed themselves to coming. Here in numbers. They want to be rewarded with a win. But there's a Taranaki team with a completely different idea, and they've just counter-rucked, won the ball, and deserve the territorial gain. But Milne was in a good spot to pick it up. Poor pass, cross to Halaholo, and he's made good of it. Mark was taken by McKenna, and just confirming it with a second call.
Was he under pressure to call a mark then? I don't know if he was under pressure. I think, wouldn't have hurt to let that run.
Thinks it to himself, didn't need to, but did anyway. And back they go. And clearly following the coaching instructions to get as far away from your goal line as possible. Apply some pressure on the tackle. Did so, but Robinson was up to the task, as is Tipole.
16, Rob.
driving over the top. Ball sitting there for either party, whoever can get there first. It's a Southland hand. Ubiquitous. Now they're going to try and find some holes further out. Hardy with the help of Milne. Ubiquitous Kenatali. McKenzie. Halahola with a long pass. And Tipole, Robinson together. A danger. Not cleanly taken initially by McKenna. And he held on just too long. Players, of course, coming in over the top to protect him have infringed. And there's a shot at goal. McKenzie wants it. And I bet they do.
No, it's not going to be an easy one, that is it, Buffer?
No way. The only upside is on the right side of the field for him. But this is what, when it comes to this part of the game, this is what kickers look forward to. The big kicks, as we see here, the big pass, it was absolute boomer. The pole just straight into Robbie Robinson's hands straight away. Well, here we see, boom, yes, he did well to recover. It was just the next guy in, sealed the ball off, didn't keep on his feet, and that was the penalty.
Yes, I don't think they'll argue about the reason for it. Marty McKenzie. North of talent, but everyone feels pressure. And this is a pressure kick. And the crowd will certainly let you know one way or t'other. And it's t'other. Not an easy one. You'll be forgiven for that. But at least, as far as the Stags are concerned, Taranaki pinned inside their 22. And they're still trailed by 1.
We all done, Mike? 10. Make sure they stay
Yeah,
behind.
well, they'll be keeping it pretty simple now. Well, Taranaki, they'll be trying to get that ball down as far as possible and keep it down there.
Southland, I said they've won territory battles this year, they've won possession battles, they've lost 2 games. This time they're on the other side of the statistic ledger, but they're still in a position to grab a victory. Needs just a brief moment of brilliance. Perhaps it will come from Brian Milne. Burley Hall with a very good tackle. Westford got across, didn't snuff it out completely, but slowed it down. Pass wasn't great. McKenzie improvised. It's not pretty at the moment, you have to say.
10 out.
But the fatigue is kicking in. Hall thinks he'll get past Songita. He got the pass away. And initially into Pole on the second touch. Big McIntosh makes progress this time towards the 22. They're only 10 out from that. Ball well controlled by the Stags at the moment. Pressing forward. Fatilofa. Done little wrong today is Fatilofa. Pole rolled, but fell the right way for his team's cause. Here is Beckuis. Long continuous phase of accurate play. Taranaki trying not to concede a penalty. Field position would have been embarrassing. However, Taranaki turned it round to a penalty of their own.
First man in.
Wow.
Let's go, please.
Tell you what, lots of pats on the back. Stags very disappointed with that. They've done everything right. You can see Tipole hitting it up there. And Leah coming in there. And look, he did everything right. I tell you what, that's just a desire south and just a wee bit slow. Blow him out.
Yeah, Sione Leah did a great job over the ball there, didn't he? Crucial for Taranaki.
There's space here, there's space.
3 minutes remain. Off the fingertips, and so far there's been 10 games between championship and premiership sides, and 3 of them won by those in the championship, 2 by Otago and of course Tasman. Southland looking to add to that. Throw Probably should have been pulled in, but those long throws to the back of the line out, Kelvin, high risk.
Yeah, loose forwards aren't really interested in line-outs. They just want to run and tackle.
Well, this back line for Southland very, very wide here. Milne right out
Too far
on
away.
the, inside the 5 here, close to the touch.
I think what Southland are lacking is from these types of situations, their passing has been inaccurate, like you said, Buffer, hasn't been in front of them. They're almost getting caught behind the advantage line. So we'll see what they do here. See if they can get across that big dotted white line on your screen there.
You've got 90 seconds to do so. Good scrum from Taranaki, spun it round and didn't concede a free kick or penalty in the process. And they also add up some time. Pole trying to get Southland back on that front foot. Halaholo. Kenatari, little dummy there. Gappy perceived, disappeared quickly. Popped up for Gibson Park, but only off a Taranaki hand. So this will be last chance saloon for Southland. They've got a point out of this game. They want some more.
It really has been a doer battle, hasn't it, guys? Just both teams banging away each other. Just so close.
With Taranaki, Kelvin, with 57% possession and 51% possession, 57% territory, will feel aggrieved if they don't finish this off, because they've done the majority of the work going by those numbers.
Yeah, I do believe they've had the upper hand, and saying that, they did get a very lucky try. Tuifua sneaking through for that try, but it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, we just talking about that previous scrum of Southland, they had 5 phases and they only made 5 metres on the park. They only got 5 metres in front of that 10-metre line. So, yeah, they need to sharpen up, maybe be a bit more direct.
Just one more chance, and they can afford no error.
I need you to start. Nice and straight, Black.
And it's a long way out.
Get our space. Get our space.
Taranaki's task very clear. Make every tackle a winner.
Well, do they go to the middle of the field and keep one-off runners, look for either A, a penalty, or B, a drop goal?
And a couple of big guys, Halaholo, Wainga in midfield, who can bust a hole. I think they were looking in that direction, and that's exactly what's happened. A little bit of confusion about what the call was, and Bernie Hall says, if you don't want it, I do.
He's lost. First one here.
And the knock on both ways means, is there time for one more scrum? A shake of the head.
I've got to play the scrum out.
And the answer is yes. But it is a Taranaki feed, and the formula got somewhat simpler for them. It will be good as far as they can muster, assuming the scrum's a success.
And a pretty simple message for this 8 for Southland: push like crazy. We need this ball back.
Yeah, that summed up their game, didn't it? Southland losing that ball. Here we go, Taranaki. They'll be keeping it very simple here, Tom.
Huge scrum required from Southland. It doesn't transpire, but there is a hustle from Kenatali. He may win it. They're only after the penalty. The referee is nodding, shaking his head, in fact, and saying, no way is that a try. You'll have to run it in. Dixon stumbles. The crowd come alive, as do the backs. Here's the run from Halaholo to try and find an error from the Taranaki defence. He does not at this stage. McKenzie with the inside ball to Milne. The tackle from Taylor rips it clear. Gibson Park puts it into touch. Taranaki's day is done. They have won this match. And they worked so hard, controlled the scoreline. And here in Invercargill, the victors this evening, Taranaki 15 over Southland 14.